I want to take a different approach to explaining Elo Hell, and it's an idea that never crossed my mind until I started playing Hearthstone. Let me start off by saying that I'm someone that often gets upset while playing card games because I can't stand losing to something that is out of my control. I'm talking about luck, of course. When it comes to success, I don't want to be putting faith in anything other than myself. I want to win because I'm better than my opponent, and that's it. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I started playing Hearthstone, I was constantly losing to what appeared to me to be pure luck. I would have my opponent at 1 HP, surefire lethal the next turn, and then my opponent would top deck a Force Nature for lethal. The hard part about learning a new game is that it's often difficult to look back on the match and figure out what you could have done better. For example, if I looked back on that Hearthstone match, I could have seen a few different plays, but ultimately I would chalk it down to my opponent getting lucky. However, a much better player would look at my turn 3 and say, well, if you played Bow here instead of Leper Gnome and Hero Power, you could have used your mana more efficiently on turn 5 instead of having 1 mana left over, which would lead to you having lethal a turn earlier. A new player would never in a million years spot a play like that, but the play is there, and suddenly, the game is no longer about luck, but about managing your mana efficiently and thinking ahead. Of course, there are still aspects of luck in the game, and don't get me wrong, some games are won by pure luck, but there's almost always something that you could have done better. This exact same scenario happens in League all the time. Chester once said something about Doublelift, something along the lines of, Doublelift would never be in the position to outplay his opponents if he played smarter to begin with. I'm sure that's not a direct quote, but the point remains. Often when you ask yourself, what am I supposed to do in this situation, the answer is almost always, don't put yourself in that situation to begin with. I had a discussion with some friends the other day about their solo queue game, and they asked me what they're supposed to do when they win bot lane but their other lanes feed. The answer is simple. You kill your tower quickly bot lane and roam middle to help pressure mid lane so they can't die anymore and so you can get more towers. Alternatively, if you're the support, you can even roam before your tower dies to pick up easy kills mid lane. You can see the resemblance here. Most players would look at a replay of their game, look solely at their own lane, see how they're CSing, see how they're trading, etc., but most wouldn't even think to roam to other lanes to help their teammates out. Instead, they would chalk it up to bad teammates and bad luck, thus the concept of Elo Hell. The most frustrating part about this concept of unknowing is that even if you're aware of the issue occurring, you often still won't be able to spot the mistakes in your play by watching replay because you simply don't possess the knowledge required to identify them. So how do we learn if we're not able to identify our own mistakes? The best way to learn is by watching other players, which is convenient for us since we're in the age of streaming where watching the best players in the world is just a click away. You can even download replays from op.gg to watch top Korean players like Faker and Apto. I'll have a link to the guide on how to do that in the description below. To learn from watching these games, take note of timings for everything they do. Basing, roaming, going for kills, going for dragon, killing towers, warding, pink warding, when they switch to sweepers, etc. Don't just watch their individual outplays and think, well, I'm obviously not that good, I'd never be able to do that. Instead, take special note of their map rotations and compare them to your own. Where can you improve? Movements around the map are much more important to success in solo queue than individual outplays, I can promise you that. If there's any interest in how exactly to analyze replays, I'll consider making a video about helping you guys out, so just let me know. I know I haven't made a video in a long time, and I'm sure this wasn't what you all were expecting, but I thought it was an interesting topic, and I hope you all enjoyed it regardless. I don't want to make any more promises about new videos coming out because I've fallen through on a lot of them in the past, but I just want to say thank you to all of you for sticking with me even though I don't upload videos very often anymore. I recently hit 10k subscribers, which is awesome, and again, thank you all for subscribing and watching my videos. As always, good luck in your games, and I'll see you all next time.